You know, when we hear about Iran, our minds usually jump straight to the news headlines, right? Geopolitics, conflicts, but that's really just scratching the surface. What we're going to do here is peel back those layers and get into the much deeper story of this incredible nation. We're talking about its ancient identity, a game-changing revolution, and what's really going on there today.
Okay, so check this out, because it's a perfect way to start. Persia versus Iran. For centuries, most of us in the West knew it as Persia. It sounds ancient, right? Like something out of a history book. But in 1935, the country itself said, hey, could you please call us by our own name? Iran. And this was so much more than just a name swap. It was about a modern nation stepping onto the world stage and saying, this is who we are. And that tension, that pull between this deep, ancient past and its modern identity, that's a theme we're going to come back to over and over again.
All right, so to really get a handle on modern Iran, you have to go back. I mean, way back. We're talking about one of the world's oldest continuous civilizations here. And that legacy, it's not just ancient history. It's baked into the national identity today.
And just look at this timeline. It really gives you a sense of the sheer scale we're dealing with. It all kicks off with the Median Kingdom uniting the tribes. That's more than 2,600 years ago. Then, boom, Cyrus the Great shows up and founds the first massive Persian Empire. After that, you've got centuries under the Parthians and Sasanians. The point is, this isn't just a boring list of dates. This is the bedrock, the foundation of a cultural memory that's incredibly deep and resilient. I mean, even when the Safavids reunified Iran back in the 1500s, they were building on top of all these ancient layers.
Okay, now let's jump forward in time a big jump, because we need to talk about the single most important event in modern Iranian history, 1979. This is the year when everything, and I mean everything, changed. This wasn't just a new government taking over. It was a revolution that tried to completely redefine what it meant to be Iran. Independence, freedom, the Islamic Republic. This was the slogan, the rallying cry of the revolution. And it was so powerful because it tapped into this deep well of frustration. People were fed up with the Shah, with his autocratic rule, with all the foreign influence. And that feeling was so strong that it brought together this really unlikely group of people. You had secular students, leftists, and of course, religious conservatives, all getting behind one figure, Ayatollah Khomeini. They all saw him as the guy who could bring about real change. So, once the revolution succeeded, they didn't waste any time making it official. They held a referendum, and a huge majority voted to ditch the monarchy and create an Islamic republic. That led to a brand new, theocratic constitution. And that's the moment Ayatollah Khomeini's role shifted. He went from being the face of the revolution to becoming the first-ever supreme leader of this new state.
And what they created was, well, it's a really unique political system. It's often misunderstood because it's this weird hybrid, a mix of religious authority and, believe it or not, some democratic-style elections. So let's actually break down how modern Iran is governed.
So think of it like this. You've got this dual power structure. At the very top, you have the supreme leader. He's not elected, and he has the final word on all the big stuff. We're talking military, foreign policy, you name it. Then, underneath him, you have the parts that look more familiar to us, an elected president who runs the government and an elected parliament that makes laws. But, and this is a huge but, their power gets checked by another group that isn't elected.
And that group is called the Guardian Council. You absolutely have to understand this body to understand Iran. They're basically the ultimate gatekeepers. Their job is to make sure the country never strays from the original Islamic principles of the revolution. It's a 12-member council, and they're appointed by the supreme leader. And get this, they have to approve every single candidate who wants to run for president or parliament. They can also just veto any law they don't like. So yeah, people vote, but the Guardian Council decides who they can vote for and what laws can actually be passed.
Okay, but Iran is so much more than just its political system, right? So let's shift gears and look at the incredibly rich, vibrant, and diverse country that you don't always see in the news.
I love this stat because it just puts things into a whole new perspective. 29. Iran has 29 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. That's the 10th highest number in the entire world. It just tells you everything you need to know about the sheer depth of Iran's contribution to human history. We're talking about everything from the legendary ruins of Persepolis to ancient cities that have been around since, well, pretty much the dawn of civilization.
And another thing people often get wrong is thinking Iran is just Persian. It's absolutely not a monolith. It's a country of over 90 million people, and as you can see here, it's a true ethnic mosaic. Sure, Persians are the majority, but you've got huge populations of Azerbaijanis, Kurds, and lots of other groups. Each one brings its own language, its own culture, its own traditions to the table, making up this really complex national identity.
And all that diversity helps fuel this amazing culture that's both ancient and incredibly modern at the same time. I mean, we all know about Persian carpets, right? That intricate artistry that goes back thousands of years. But that same creative DNA is alive today in Iran's film industry, which is honestly one of the most celebrated in the world. Its directors are constantly winning awards at major film festivals for their really powerful, beautiful storytelling.
So where does that leave Iran right now? Well, the country is really at a crossroads. It's defined by this incredible contrast, this massive tug of war between its huge potential on one side and these intense pressures both from inside and out on the other.
So let's start with the potential, because it is huge. Iran is, and there's no other way to put this, an energy superpower. Just think about this. It has the world's second largest reserves of natural gas and the third largest of oil. In our world today, which runs on energy, that's a staggering amount of potential wealth and global influence.
But that potential is being squeezed by some absolutely massive challenges. You've got crippling international sanctions that have just hammered the economy. That, in turn, has caused major economic problems at home, sparking huge protests, which are often met with a very harsh government response. Then you throw in the whole controversy around its nuclear program and its deep involvement in conflicts across the region, and you've got a nation under constant, crushing pressure from all sides.
So what does this all mean? We're left looking at a nation that's caught between two worlds, this incredibly proud, ancient imperial past and this very turbulent, revolutionary present. It has absolutely everything it needs to be a major global player, the resources, the history, the people, and yet it's facing these gigantic obstacles. The story of Iran is far from over, and figuring out what its next chapter will be, well, that's one of the biggest and most fascinating questions in the world today.